Well, April 17th is quickly approaching, don't we all know? Which means you better get a move on it on filing those taxes. Sheri Schultz is here from Fiske Company to help you out. All right, is it too late to find some deductions as we get down to this final week?
Of course not. In fact, if you haven't contributed to your IRA yet, you have until April 17th to fund your IRA to get the deduction for this year. Even though you're paying now, you get the deduction for 2011. The same thing, there's a health savings account, which is a direct reduction from income, and if you have a single coverage, you can contribute up to $3,050, and you can fund it up to April 17th of this year. And for family coverage, it's $6,150. And if you're over 55, you get an extra $1,000 contribution you can make by April 17th, and this is a direct reduction from your income.
Okay, so there's some savings there. I know with a lot of people, when they get down to the last minute, sometimes they make errors. What do you suggest, and what you should do as you finally start to finish up those taxes to make sure you don't end up, getting an auditor just doing your taxes incorrectly?
Absolutely. As people are rushing, they do make errors. So make sure that you check the Social Security number and the employer identification numbers and make sure they are correct on the return. Also, check your math. The IRS says that the math errors are the biggest errors. Check to make sure you don't transpose a number and there's no computation errors. And this is why the IRS says you should file electronically, because filing electronically, there's over less than 1% of errors.
But by the same token, filing electronically, last year they had so many incidents of identity fraud and theft.
Yes, and that is why the IRS said do not open up any emails from the IRS, because they do not send any correspondence through the emails. And another thing on the errors, make sure when you file the return, you sign it and your spouse signs it. You need to sign and date if it's jointly filed. Otherwise, both of you need to sign it, because otherwise they'll reject the return.
Okay. Now tell me this. For example, if you just can't get it together and you just can't make it by April 17th, no matter how hard you try, what do you do?
File an extension. It's Form 4868, and you can go to the irs.gov website and you can file it electronically. However, an extension is only time to file the return. You get 6 months additional. You do not have an extension to pay
for the return. So if you owe them, you got to send a check with that extension.
Yes. Estimate what you believe the tax is going to be and pay it. If you underestimate significantly, then your extension is going to be invalid. So try to estimate exactly what your tax is going to be.
All right, Sheri, thank you so much. Some great advice here. And for more information and tax filing tips, visit fiskeco.com or give a call to 954-236-8600. And of course, you can still take folks at this point, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, she'll help you out. Natalie, over to you.